and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie and this is my life journey to do with all things, everything. I originally started this channel, as you guys know, as a weight loss channel. It is no longer a weight loss channel, so if that's what you're here for, I'm really sorry, but that's not what I'm going to be talking about anymore. This video is going to be about a couple different things that happened over the last couple of days, how it relates to feelings towards my body, different things regarding that. So the first thing is the food police. I want to talk a little bit about that. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about food anthropologist, which is something that they talk about in the intuitive eating book. I also want to touch on movement that my body enjoys and how that has been going. And I wanted to give you guys an update of the playroom. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I was going over. I don't know. We'll just go from there. So the first thing I want to talk about is the food police. And in the intuitive eating book, it talks about the food police as being kind of like those negative thoughts in your head that are thinking that the way that you're eating is not working, that food is against you, kind of a thing. I had a couple experiences like that. I took my son to his dance class yesterday, which is the most adorable thing. But I was dressed up in very comfortable clothes. I had watched a billion kids that morning, and I was comfortable the whole time watching all of those little daycare kids in my house. And then I was taking my son to dance class. Now, nobody at dance class is like dressed to the nines or something. None of the other moms are like trying to shame anybody by looking amazing themselves or something. But I just like went in there, and there were just like glass windows leading up to the dance studio that I kept looking at my reflection in and thinking, wow, I look like such a bum, like a slob. And then I like went in, and there's, you know, mirrors lining the whole studio as I'm getting his little tap dancing shoes on. And I just felt unattractive as I was doing that. And no joke, I had just eaten a little Starbucks sandwich and hot chocolate like right before going. So it was maybe half an hour since I had last eaten. I ate intuitively. I was hungry, so I got something to eat. I hadn't really had a good lunch, like a filling lunch before that. So I had just barely eaten. I was satisfied. I was not overly full. I was not hungry. But as soon as I left that dance studio, like because that food police had been going in my head of like, you don't look good right now, like you're not in a place where you need to be, like shouldn't you lose 100 pounds or something? Not 100, obviously, but like that. Those are the thoughts that were going in my head. Is like, you're kidding yourself if you think you don't need to lose weight or whatever. And those were the thoughts going in my head as I'm like walking away from the dance studio. I was like, I'm hungry. We should find somewhere to eat. And then I like had to actually think, am I actually hungry? I had like a feeling inside of me that I needed food. And like, it was the shame that I was like putting on myself of like, why did I just have hot chocolate and a sandwich when I, you know, should have eaten something healthier or whatever. Like those were the food police thoughts coming through my head. And I was able to catch those mid-stride and say, heck to the no, that is not how we think anymore, brain, okay? And so I just like tried to erase that shame from what I had eaten. My goodness. I tried to erase that shame that I was feeling because I caught it mid-stride. And I was able to kind of talk myself through it and realize that that is not... Do you hear the mommy in the background? Okay, I'm back. So that whole story just like brings me to the food anthropologist, which is kind of on the other side of the food police. The food police are like drawing conclusions about things in a negative way, and the food anthropologist is just there to observe. Now, I remember in college, I was required to take an anthropology course for my major, and I remember sitting in that class and thinking, anthropology is the most useless thing ever. Like these people would go into a community and they would just like live with the community. They wouldn't change anything about it. They wouldn't try to improve it. Didn't matter if people were like killing each other. They were not stepping in to make anything better. They were just observing and learning about the culture. And I remember thinking like, sure, that's great, but like they aren't doing anything to improve it or whatever. And I think that's besides the point. The whole point of anthropology is just to observe and learn. And the food anthropologist is very much similar. And so I have a whole different view on anthropology now, and I actually think it's very valuable. So food anthropologist is what came in after the food police and talked me through it. So kind of just tried to observe and learn from the experience I was having. So the experience was I was walking past a window, I noticed myself, and I had negative thoughts. And then the next thing I observed is that I took those, negative thoughts that I had and turned it into a craving for food, seeking food to fill that shame that I was feeling about not looking the same as everybody else or whatever. And the funny thing is, I couldn't even tell you what size anyone else was at the dance studio. Like, maybe there are other people looking schlummy too. I have no idea because I don't notice that about other people. I'm just putting it on myself. Anyway, so my food anthropologist kind of just like helped me break down, this is the experience that just happened. This is how I reacted. And now that I have that knowledge to look back on, I can remember that thing that I learned about my own personal culture surrounding food to be able to use that in the future and make choices. Child yelling at me. I'll be back. Okay, is there no peace? There's no peace as a mother. Okay. Oh, maybe he will actually stay sleeping, napping, attempting. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I learned from my experience. That's the point of that. The food anthropologist helps you observe and learn from your experiences, even if in the moment you weren't realizing those things. You weren't able to figure everything out right then and eat intuitively completely. You're able to learn from your past experiences. And that brings me to last night. So in the same day, within 5 hours of each other, these two experiences where I felt not comfortable in my body. I was thinking negatively about how I looked, how I might appear to others. And then in the same exact day, I went swimming with my friend at the gym. And the thumbnail, if you saw the thumbnail of this video, showed a picture of us about to go swimming. And we've been attempting to go swimming at the gym. This is our third time. We go work out together at the gym. However often, whenever our kids are not sick. But we go work out together. We've tried 3 different times, dressed in our swimming suits, to go work out, and the pool each time has been closed for some reason or another. My friend called ahead this time to make sure the pool was open, and we were able to go swim, and it was fabulous. No joke. I grew up across the street from the city pool, lived there during the summer pretty much. Sometimes I'd stay there all day and legit get second-degree burns because I was irresponsible. I didn't put on sunscreen often enough and got blisters. That was not fun. But I lived in the water growing up, and then in high school and college, I was a lifeguard. I was a swim instructor. I was living in the water my life. That was it. And for the longest time, I have not swam. I haven't been swimming. And I've gone with my kids to take them, but that's not really swimming. You're standing in the water or sitting in the water. And I went yesterday and swam laps, and it was fabulous. My body was gliding through the water. It was therapeutic to time my breathing out like that. I feel yoga is therapeutic because you're breathing in and out, and it's this timing of breathing in and holding and releasing and whatever. I'm not great at yoga, so maybe that's a bad example, but swimming I feel is therapeutic because you're required to time your breathing in a similar way. And I was able to just be right back where I used to be in the water, swimming, doing different strokes, and feeling so freaking comfortable in the water. And it just reminded me of a TED Talk I listened to recently. I believe it was by Lindsay Kite. So Lexi and Lindsay Kite have an organization called Beauty Redefined. I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but I will link it down below because it's fabulous. I love their message. But these two sisters have a book called More Than a Body. And they talk about personal objectification. Is that what it's called? Let me check. What is it called? Oh, self-objectification is what it's called. And it's basically picturing your body from an outsider's perspective and judging it based on that. So like, it's monitoring your body from an outside perspective. So an example of that is like adjusting your shirt to make sure nobody sees your back, or like pulling up your pants so that your pooch looks better or something. So it's adjusting yourself, monitoring yourself based on what someone else might be seeing, but like whether or not anybody's looking. Like you could be by yourself and adjusting yourself in that way, and that's called self-objectification, monitoring yourself as if, you know, someone was judging you, observing you. And I was there vulnerable, physically exposed in a swimming suit at the gym with a whole bunch of other people walking in and out to go to the sauna. Most of them were going to the sauna, not the actual pool. And I was able to be comfortable in the water swimming, and I'm not going to say I had no moments of self-objectification where I, you know, was like, oh, we're sitting in the hot tub and like I can see my belly or whatever, like, and thinking somebody's going to notice that. And then I would talk back to it and say, like, who cares if someone notices that? Like, this is my natural me, and I just had a fabulous workout in the pool. And I was able to swim, I don't even know how many meters. I just went back and forth, and we stopped and chatted in between, me and my friend, and it was great. So that is movement that I really enjoy, and honestly, I think I would do it every day if it wasn't that my hair is fragile. So any tips for swimming and saving your hair? Because I only wash my hair once a week to help it stay healthy and avoid breakage. I used a swim cap last night and it kept it somewhat dry, but not really dry. And so I don't think I could do that every day, or I think my hair would get pretty damaged. So if anyone has tips for actually making a swim cap waterproof to not let any water in, let me know in the comments. Would love to hear, because I would love to do that every single day, honestly. So fabulous. And I think that is what it comes down to, is finding movement that you enjoy, because physical activity has been proven to be a better indicator of health than weight, than a number on the scale. So physical activity is a better indicator of health than weight. And I am not perfect at being physically active consistently. And I think that's because the movement that I enjoy is not what I have been doing, right? Movement that I really enjoy and would do it any moment is to go on a long walk with a friend and chat the whole time. And guess what? Better cardio when you're chatting, right? You're using extra air, making your heart beat extra fast. I did that last week. I went on a super long walk with one of my friends, and that was amazing. And then last night, doing the swimming with my friend, that was fabulous. I felt so good, and I would do that every single day, no joke. So I think what I need to do is just focus on doing those movements that I enjoy. And I really do love lifting heavy things also. My legs are freaking strong, and I love it. So that's another movement that I enjoy, is lifting heavy things with my legs. With my arms, I don't know that I enjoy that as much, but that's just because they're not as strong yet. And so I'm going to try and focus on physical activity in that way, and doing movement that I really truly enjoy and would do at any time. Running's not that, but walking with a friend for a long time is totally in that zone. So I'm going to focus on doing that, because health is not about weight. And I have fed myself that for a long time, that in order to be healthy, I needed to be a certain weight. And I celebrated when I finally got to a healthy BMI and all of that different thing. But my perspective has just shifted. So I feel like while I am not healthy right now, I'm not saying that I am, because I'm not being physically active. I do feel like that physical activity and continuing to eat intuitively and stop when I'm full, eat when I'm satisfied, or eat when I'm hungry, stop when I'm satisfied, that is what's going to bring me into the healthy range based on health markers rather than weight loss. And I'm really excited about that, and my mental health is much improved, so I'm really excited about that too. I wanted to give you guys an update of the playroom, so let me give you a little look around and tell you what we've done so far and what we have left to do, because there's much yet to be done, but the work from last week was not in vain, and I'll show you guys that now. So first of all, this is a much lived in playroom. We just had a bunch of kids here this morning. We put in these cabinets after we painted all the walls. The upper cabinets are yet to be done. Up there, trying to get those straight is a struggle. So originally, this room had a chair rail along this whole wall and along this whole wall. And when we tore that off, the people before us, like, I'm pretty sure it was screwed into the wall, not just nails, and it was glued as well. So taking that off the wall was like shredded our wall, the entire length of the wall. So we had to spackle it, sand it, paint it. That was quite the struggle. But now it's looking fabulous. There's our beat up old piano, our lovely kid couches. Anyway, I'm really excited for how it turned out. We ended up painting all the ceilings white because they were so yellow, but now they're white and looking great. I will give you guys a full update once it's all the way done. We are still planning a mural on this wall here. It's gonna be a big like painting, hopefully with wallpaper, and we're gonna frame it in so it looks like a big picture on the wall, but it will actually be wallpaper, which is pretty cool. And then I have a rug that I got here. It is a tumble rug, I believe is what it's called. And it's similar to Ruggable, I think. And it'll have a pad under it, and it's a washable rug since, you know, children. Anyway, that is a little update on the playroom. Thank you so much for watching this video. Y'all are the best, and I'm glad you still come here and like listen to me ramble on about things. It's really fun. So see you in my next video.